who you are? Are you sure? As you go through life, it is so very common for you to, let's just say, lose yourself with all of the norms, social norms, church norms, black culture norms, European norms, work norms, home norms. You can sometimes find an identity that is a hodgepodge of a lot of stuff, but not particularly yourself. Every day, you can find yourself getting out of bed, and as you put on your clothes, you put on somebody else's identity. As you comb, brush, wash your hair, whatever your procedure is, are you cleansing, washing, and prepping the real you? Have you met the real you? Do you know the real you? There is no exchange for the real you. So, in this video, in this moment, in this time, in this moment, take a moment. Discover you. Discover who you are. Listen as I talk about the practicality of being you, the essence, the importance of being you, uninhibited, unadulterated, unrestricted. Now, you'll always have parameters, but you should still be you. And sometimes you should even break up those parameters. Discover a new you. Discover a new way. Did you even know that the you today is not the same you from 5 years ago? 5 minutes ago? And I'm not talking about schizophrenic, bipolar. I'm talking about that we all evolve. Think about it. Some of the foods that you used to love as a child, you don't love it. Your body doesn't even love it. And some of the things that you hated as a child, you look back now and you're pretty good with it. You actually will order it. It doesn't have to be put on and mandated by your parent. And you better eat all of it. What I'm saying to you, beloveds, in this moment, as you're watching this, remember who you are. And some of you may not even have to remember. You have to go and find who you are. It's never too late. Never too late to know who you are. Be blessed as you watch. I'm yours, Lord. All that I am, I'm yours, Lord. Everything I'm not, I'm yours, Lord. Try me now and see. We used to sing that in Sunshine Band. See if I can be completely yours. Good morning, everybody. Everybody, good morning or good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a wonderful day. Hey, Lewis. Wonderful day here in Atlanta, Georgia. A little warm, as is expected, so we're on schedule but it's not too hot today, so that's a good thing. Wanted to come on and as Norm, I'm going to, produce, and whoever comes to see it afterwards, will see it. As I was thinking today, doing some reading, research, and all that I do, the thought really impressed upon me in the regard to, in today's time, there's different school of thoughts about being one's better self. We're all hopefully trying to improve ourselves, trying to be better people, trying to uh, build upon ourselves to be the best us that we can be. But there's a couple school of thoughts. One is where you try and better your weaknesses and build those up, and then there's a total different school of thought, a little bit more contemporary, where you actually focus on your strengths and magnify them, and staff, as possible, or find other sources to functionalize your weakness to make up the difference. I'm probably more of the latter. I think that if you have opportunity to build some weaknesses, you can. But I do think that a lot of us spend a lot of time and sometimes waste a lot of time building strengths that we just don't have. Each person is uniquely designed with strengths and weaknesses. You have highs and lows, and you are obviously able to build lows so that they get better, but studies show that they only marginally improve after all of that effort and work. It's not a lot of improvement. It does get better, but it's not as good as you honing your skills. So with that in mind, I think another thing that we don't do as a people, we don't really know who we are. We don't really understand our strengths. Now, there are some great tools that are out there, and I just want to admonish you in this moment. It's not long, but in this moment, to be able to look out there, find different resources that tests that will help you understand where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. And I'm not specifically talking about you're good in math and bad in English, or writing is good, but your leadership skills, or are you a nurturer, so that you'll know that your skills and your strengths are in in the medical field, or in nursing, or any of those things, in education, so that you don't spend your life doing something that you never really love to do, and only use your pastime to try and get out some of those passions that you have. If you're a person that likes agriculture, like horticulture, finding those things, and it's never too late to learn about yourself. And another thing, you're not the same you that you were 10 years ago. You're not the same you that you were 5 years ago. You should be evolving. You should be ever learning yourself, because you keep on adding and taking away from yourself things that you liked before you may not like coming up. So you have to be able to watch yourself, evaluate yourself, have self-actualizations, self-realizations, and know that I'm not the same person. It doesn't mean that I'm bad. It just means that I have moved my location in my mentality, in my experiences. Each experience should build you in one way or the other, but you have to be able to note those things, to know those things, and see the ebbs and flows of where are you going, what are you doing, what do you like to do. Make sure that you're being true to yourself, not being someone else's expectation, not allowing other people to put on you things that don't belong with you. Seasons come and go. Sometimes we are friends, and sometimes that it doesn't mean that I don't like you, or we fell out. It just means that we are going in separate directions, and this is your exit. It's okay. You have to be fine with that, to be able to grow and not stifle yourself or hold yourself back just because it once was one way. Doesn't mean it's always going to continuously be that way. You have to be able to understand where you are mentally and be okay with that journey, because if you stifle yourself on the journey, you're also stifling your inner joy, your inner self, your inner peace, and then you're serving whoever else you're coming in contact is the recipient of that turmoil that you have inside, that nastiness, because you're unhappy. I don't care how hard you try to be happy, we're going to know it. People that come in contact with you are going to feel that energy that is not pleasant, that is not settled with who you are. When you are convicted to be who you are authentically, and make no never minds about anybody else, not being a replica of anybody else, a duplicate, we don't need any more. We need whoever you are, So I just wanted to come in this moment in Glover and say, ask other people. There's different ways to find out, your strengths, because sometimes you can't see yourself. You live inside yourself, so you're blind to yourself. Sometimes you don't even know how strong you are, your evaluation of others. Ask other people. I used to do it years ago. Didn't even know that it was actually, a psychological thing to do. Ask other people, what do you think my 3 strongest strengths are? Even on Facebook, I have found on Facebook, they ask these questions, and I often get surprised by what other people say. Things that I think little of, somebody is honoring that. Somebody is, and then you find a whole fleet of people saying the same thing. Everybody's not lying. That might be a strength you might want to invest in. And if you love to do it and they say you're good at it, you might want to see, well, this trait was given to me, instilled into me. How can I maximize it? Whether it's for profit or for, your joy. But it would be lovely if the two can come together and you make money on the thing that's joyous to you and that the people appreciate about you. So you can take the skill test. There's many inventory tests that they have out there that would tell you who you are, your strengths, according to how you answer the questions, and then ask other people. And then your life experiences. What do you get happy about doing? What do you long to do? When you have spare time, what do you mind doing? And hopefully it's not sleeping. Probably not a skill that, even though I like naps, but yeah. There's something that you like to do that actually gives you joy, that's a passion. You have to find it and find how you can maximize that so that you to yourself are being true. That while you are, the reason that you're placed on earth is not misappropriated on someone else's job. That you're not spending time and skill going to school, getting degrees or taking up trades and all of those other things for things that do not even make you happy, but just because it sounds good. It's the fad. It's the trend. In 5 years, it has the best vantage point. But is it going to make you happy? Are you going to burn out before you even get there? To thy own self, you be true.